because of the disruptive technologies which are coming in, it is very much important and onus on the leader. Make the whole team prepared for the shift, which is the tectonic shift which is taking place. One expert advice of even 1 minute is of very great use to, because you are learning with the time.
Welcome to this yet another interesting episode of Women in Tech. Today we have Dr. Sangeeta Chhabra, who's the co-founder and executive editor of Ace Cloud, a global cloud solutions provider. With 30 plus years of experience across academia and entrepreneurship, she drives strategic initiatives and operations at scale. A PhD in business management and an alumni of Delhi School of Economics, Dr. Chhabra has over 20 published research papers. Her work on Manrega and unaccounted wealth has earned national recognition, reflecting her deep expertise in economic and policy research. Welcome, Dr. Chhabra. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Kavita, and thank you, NASSCOM, for giving this opportunity to have an interaction with all of you, and that's really nice of all of you to have considered and taking an interview.
Sure, great. Thank you so much. Dr. Chhabra, to begin with, I just want to say that what sparked your journey into leading tech company, especially back then, and how do you think your vision for it has grown or shifted as industry and your own experience has evolved over a period of time?
Well, Kavita, thank you so much for listening to my journey. And as you have just mentioned, I don't have a tech background. And it all started way back in the late 90s and early 2000 when I was pursuing my PhD. And at that time, I was thinking what topic to take. And there's a lot of work which is coming into the country. India was the place where we had this opportunity of outsourcing and offshoring work coming into the Indian space because of the labor arbitrage and other advantages. So my topic for PhD was in the area of outsourcing. That's how it all started. So the interest started from there. And the first report which I had bought was from the NASSCOM report.
Wow, that's an honor.
Yeah. So that is how it all started. And I said, okay. And then my husband, my co-founder later on, and my husband, who is a graduate from IIT Delhi, and also who has been worked in the government of India for more than 38 years. So we were just chatting and we said, why don't we start? Why don't we also have something? And being an economics student as well as an economics professor later on, it was one of the core problems Indian economy faces is unemployment. So I thought we have a pool of talent. Why don't we do something as the entrepreneurial spirit was there, little bit inside. So I said, let's start that. So we started to work with bookkeeping. And with the person at home and coming and doing we opened a website and we had some trickle down business coming in. While doing bookkeeping for the US customers, suddenly we came across that is QuickBooks, something similar to Tally. This all started. So we said, why don't, my husband also said, why don't you host them? Initially I felt, what is it? But then I started reading it also, and then it is not that difficult. So we said, okay, let's host QuickBooks. And that is how the data application hosting in the cloud infrastructure started way back in the early 2000s. And from there, the journey started, I had to have a team build up. And then, as an entrepreneur, it's not easy, and first generation entrepreneur means you have to do everything. You have to be master of all, basically jack of all trades, be it HR, marketing, finance, sales. And we did not know anything but digital marketing. Digital marketing is what we started. Whatever business we build up in the next decade, I would say, was all through the digital marketing space. So that's how it all started. And today we are having a spectrum of IT solutions in the whole span of cloud ecosystem, be it public cloud, be it cybersecurity offerings, and even into the area of cloud telephony. So that's how the journey began.
Oh, well, that's actually very, I would say, interesting and inspiring both. But given your experience in cloud technology and this space, and especially now with AI coming, how do you see this space changing, and the role of tech leaders evolving along with it?
I think with all the new dynamic IT offerings which are coming in, the whole disruptive technologies which are hitting the market today, be it the Gen AI, be it I would say the quantum technologies, anything which is happening, is going to be a game changer. And if I talk it at the global level also, and if I talk at the Indian level also, the SME sector, because we are in that space at this moment, the SME sector has a lot to contribute towards any nation. And in India, if I take the figures, it's almost 30% of the GDP is coming from the SME sector. Now, this SME sector, if we can enable them through technology, can really increase the productivity, the operational costs can decrease, and the scalability can be much more than what it is today. You can enable all the AI which is there. Sometimes the buzzword is, hey, AI, because of it, maybe some problems can be there. No, it's not like that. It is a tool, something. There is a whole shift which is coming. It's a dynamic environment which is there. And if we can make use of the latest technologies and enable all the persons over there and the SME sector as well as the other enterprises, it is going to boost the economic development for any nation. That is my personal viewpoint.
No, absolutely a bang on. In fact, yesterday only we had this SME conclave in Delhi at, NASSCOM was having it at Shangri-La. And,
I missed it,
Yeah, Dr. Piyush Goyal also was there, and he also showed a lot of confidence in the sector, and he was also really appreciative of the work, at least all our member companies and the sector does, people like you do. So I think I totally resonate what you are saying, because he was exactly saying the same things. And taking this discussion forward, I would say that you've had leadership at various organizations, and today, if you see, what initiatives or policies do you think are essential to foster an inclusive and dynamic tech ecosystem in India? Because currently, with again, if I take back the example of AI, etc., I think there is a lot of talk about democratizing. There's a talk of sovereignty, but eventually, for a country like us, how do you think some of this can be made inclusive and dynamic?
Okay, with the whole the shift which is coming into the country today, and if we talk about how the tech space is changing, and so many new areas which are budding up, as leaders, we'll have to be ahead of times. There's a lot of things which are happening. You have at the geopolitical level, there are things which are the skill gap which we talk about, then the diversity and inclusion which we talk about. Multiple areas and multiple talks are, there are issues which are raised up, and as leaders, if we can adapt to the challenges and be ahead of time, I think we'll be able to have our organizations very resilient. Now, I personally feel there are certain qualities in a leader which are time and tested, and that is your determination, your hard work, and also your agility to be able to be taking good decisions and fast decisions, I would say, or an agile decision making makes a difference, especially in crisis times. It has been, if I go back and I watch about our ex-Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji, she also, at time of a wartime, she took that minute decision of Manekshaw taking over. So if you have certain things coming up and you can take the decisions, the leadership in your leadership style, it is going to be beneficial to make the organization sustainable. Also, because of the disruptive technologies which are coming in, it is very much important and onus on the leader to mentor and train the teamwork, enable them with the latest technologies by ways of mentorship, by ways of the various courses which we can have, which we already have as ACE Cloud, and make the whole team prepared for the shift, which is the tectonic shift which is taking place. So this is what I feel in the tech space. The leaders have to do, keep attention to what's happening and enable their team parts also. Now, when you're talking about how the diversity and the inclusion, see, my viewpoint is that when I read some little statistics here and there, the females have had not much taken the space of the STEM in the STEM platform. And in fact, the statistics say, almost, if we believe in them, then almost for the last decades, it has been quite stagnant. And it starts at the grassroots. If we can encourage from there, in the STEM at home and also at the college and the university levels, then the new technologies, especially what I read, be it the Gen AI or be it the other technologies which are coming up, the diverse views will have the potential reaping from these technologies much more than if it is not, if we don't have it. To make it more inclusive, I feel the technological advancements should be there even till the grassroots level. And for that, many vocational trainings can be there. Entrepreneurs, because leading entrepreneurs are the need of the hour. Definitely, our government is doing a lot of things and begging, oh, Viksit Bharat banane ke liye, there are a lot of things which are coming up.
Yeah.
But lots need to be done. And as leaders, we should have that vision and goal that if we can give back to society in a way by we can mentor our young birds which are there, because the young population, and if we can really enable them, then they can be game changers in the whole paradigm shift.
I think I really liked your point on, the entire thing on entrepreneurship and how, there's so many of them are required. And I totally agree to that in terms of, I think we need a whole wave of creating new gen entrepreneurs. But, before that, I want to ask you this entire thing of, you have been one yourself. So thinking back to your early days, especially at a time when you started very early, where, the technology industry did not have so many women, what's that one piece of advice you wish someone had shared with you?
Okay. See, when you start as an entrepreneur, and especially a first generation entrepreneur, you don't know, it's like a complete new world you're entering into. And there are, and you face, it's like a road which you are taking, which can have its own ups and downs and own hurdles. I mean, I'm not sharing it here, but ups and downs there can be many. And and actually you don't realize it, but nowadays we talk about that when there is a startup coming in and there is some angel financing coming in, then you have to have those various 5-6 people in place to be able to take. That means there has to be a CHRO, there has to be a CFO, there has to be some. But at that time you are everything. You need to market, you need to sell. But that is what I learned over there, that sometimes in certain areas, especially when it comes to legal compliances, when it comes to certain other areas which are not your strengths, you should take help of experts. That is where I feel, because one expert advice of even 1 minute is of very great use because you are learning with the time. You learn on the job. So that is what I feel, that expertise comes in very handy. And yes, all that goes without saying, hard work and persistence and not giving up. All those are, of course, recipes which
those are given. And I think this is very valid for people who think that, it is a learning curve and it is okay to do everything yourself. But I think it's a great piece of advice to say, while you can do everything, and
but one problem is there, Kavita, that sometimes affordability in the initial time periods come in, but take it as an investment and do it. Because that gives one right decision making is far more important than wrong decisions. So that is important. And one more thing, I learned it very fast over the time, that yourself you can't do anything. It's the team which makes the difference. And the whole team, you have to enable your team, you have to give a lot of empowerment to your team, be empathetic with your team, then only you can be successful. Alone, not easy.
Thank you. I think these pieces of advice and wisdom to us also will go a long way in terms of, expert advice is important. Managing your team, helping your team, being there for them, looking after them, extremely important. On that note, Dr. Chhabra, thank you so much.
One more thing, I do have a bias. You can come and have a check with me at my organization. I do have a bias towards my female representatives here. I mean, most of them I understand, because to have a work-life balance, to have children, then to get along, and then to be able to succeed, you have to have empathy with them.
I totally agree. I mean, while we may say, I totally agree on the part of, competence also, but then it is always good to, have someone who does empathize with your problems. I think some of these things are just humanitarian. It has got nothing to do with gender, I personally feel, but it does go along.
Not. In fact, nowadays I feel even the younger generation, even the boys, I would say the young men, they have a lot of issues which need to be tackled also, the different kind of all this. The new world has new problems also. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was lovely chatting with you, Dr. Chhabra.